So the first weekend of February in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin is always Winterfest. The big draw of Winterfest is the snow sculptures along a frozen lake. So I worked my way down along the lakefront, following the crowds. On Saturday, most of the people came out to watch the sculptors still building the snow sculptures. It was very crowded. Judging also happened on Saturday, so this was like last minute thing. So this one is close to being done. Now I also came back on Monday without the crowds to see what things looked like. So each one of these I will show you the before and after. So the otter was still there, but most of the rest of the sculpture was gone. Because of the crowds, I decided I was going to come back Monday and see the finished sculptures. Well, it didn't quite turn out the way I hoped. These crowds were just too much for me on Saturday, and I knew they would be just as bad on Sunday. Now this one, I believe, got second place. So this was them building it. And each of the sculptors had a little smaller piece that they were working from. This was the model that they were going to build the sculpture from. There's a lot going on there that I don't see in that sculpture, so I was a little disconnected there. And this is Monday, after a bit of a melt. And I didn't even think it had melted that much. It had been that warm on Sunday and Monday. But that one got second place. Rawr. Now this fish one, it was done. That was the first one finished, I believe, right along the Riviera there. And what's amazing is it seems to be fairly delicate. It has a lot of space underneath it that's hollow, but it held up the best going into Monday. There's very little, most of the detail was still there. This is on Monday now. And you can see that it's still very much a solid sculpture. So kudos to whoever built this. They did a really good job of building something that lasted more than a day. And you can see the crowds were all just crammed onto the sidewalk here. And this one, absolutely beautiful one with a man wrestling a lion. You can see the club up top is actually ice instead of snow. And the sculptor there is busy whittling away at a tooth. And I think the tooth were ice as well. And he would check them and try to see if they fit in. Go back, work them a little bit more. So while he's working, we'll take a look over here at the neighbors. Building out there. They're pretty close to being done with that one at this point. Both of these are pretty close to being done. The flags indicate which state each of the sculptors is from. I'm back over here. He's going to test another tooth, see if it fits. Now we're going to take a look at what happened to this sculpture after the crowds left. I think the guy wrestling the lion pushed a little too hard and broke his foot off. The whole thing just rolled right over. It's from the backside. One of the sad things about a lot of this during construction is you're only on the sidewalks. You don't get to see the other side of the sculptures until after this competition is over. And by then, some of these have already collapsed. So there we are again on Saturday. She's finishing off there. And this is Sunday. This one was still fairly intact. Or Monday. This is Monday. This one is still fairly intact. Viking ship on top of her head. I don't have the story behind each of these. Now take a look at this one. This one was very delicate. It had a sea turtle floating over on the right side, the octopus down below. This was just too delicate to survive. There it is on Monday. There's the sea turtle there, octopus behind, that's still there, and just bits and pieces. Now this is a form they use. They stuff this with snow. This is what they actually start from. They'll stuff those with snow, take it apart, and that's what the sculptors are starting with. Now we're going to work our way across the bridge. On Saturday, the road was closed coming down here, so you could just wander across and head down to Flatiron Park to see the rest of them. So now we're at the far end of Flatiron Park and taking a look at this one here. There's the example of what they're building. Another otter, I think, there. And they made it a little more robust than their model, I think, which is probably a little good idea. It's looking pretty good there. Here it is, and now you can see the backside because I could walk behind it on Monday. You couldn't see that part. This one's still looking very good on Monday. Next to it, we have this Komodo dragon or something like that. You can see the arms coming out from it. Those were kind of vulnerable. Heavy crowds. Here it is on Monday. The arms are gone, sadly. Moving on through the crowds, up to the next one. Fairly simple cow jumping over the moon from a team in Minnesota. Again, the appendages are a little vulnerable. Those front legs just didn't quite survive. Okay, moving on to the next one. So this one, we got this Viking head with a bear head on top that he's wearing. And this is what you can see when you're here on the weekend, when they're building them and the crowds are here. And it's really pretty cool, but what you can't see is this. This is the backside. Yeah, so that backside is just something you just can't see when the crowds are there. You don't have the opportunity. For the most part, he held up pretty good, lost a tooth on the bear though. So you come down here and we'll look at the model. Again, didn't get to see what was on the backside, even on the model. There it is again on Monday. So that one held up pretty well. Pretty squat, solid. All right, as we zoom in here, you can see this woman with a very long reach and a weapon behind her back. Next to it, we've got upside down turtle and frog and toad there, Mr. Frog and Mr. Toad. And here we are on Monday. Arm is gone. Really couldn't quite see what was behind her back. I guess I should have gone around behind. And next to him, well, the turtle's kind of there, but the rest of it was just too delicate for any warmth. Now the one next to it is pretty solid. You can see those again, what they were before they fell apart. Very delicate snow sculptures there. Now it didn't get that warm, but the sun was beating down on them all the time, at least during the daytime. Here's this bearded fella with a bird on his head. And there we are again on Monday. See the other birds around him. And then we got a series here. First one here is a one bear band. I know he was talking to us. I couldn't hear him. There was no room to stop and listen. I was about 3 people back. Here we are on Monday. If I can get behind it, you know, see the musical notes, see the other half of the drum. Now, next to the one bear band, we had Shrek, Donkey, and the Dragon. Now, noting that this is completely covered midday on Saturday when the judging is going to happen very soon. And my understanding is things started to collapse on Sunday. So there's very few people who got to see these things intact. And the dragon's head has fallen. So you have Donkey, Shrek, and then the dragon and the head. And on the back, we'll be able to see what the detail was in that head. And unfortunately, you couldn't see that until things started to melt. And there it is again on Saturday when they were building it. So you can see what it was intended to be. And you can see the crowds. Another shot down that row as they're polishing up. In this moment up front here, they are finished. They are just cleaning up, making it ready for the judges. So one last rundown here to the one that was standing to begin with and survived probably longer than the rest. Looking fabulous was this carp. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.